Nelson Mandela Bay Council meeting in Port Elizabeth. The meeting was to appoint a chief financial officer and other executive directors, amongst other items. Voting continued after the walkout, but legal advice is being sought on whether the items voted on are valid.
Does the Metro have a new chief financial officer? The jury's still out on that.
Does the council also supersede legislation? Speaker, are you superseding legislation?
It's a council ruled by mathematics. The ruling coalition is made of the ANC, UDM, AIC, PA and United Front. All find themselves scrambling for the required majority seats. EFF leader Julius Malema announced his party will not be voting with the DA or ANC. The coalition government currently has 54 of the required 61 seats. The DA and the coalition partners, COPE and ACDP, walked out of today's sitting. Speaker Mazwe Majola adjourned the meeting indefinitely.
Right now, because of what had happened in today's council meeting, we are going to meet with our legal division so that we can be able to analyze exactly, what the approach the municipality must be able to take, and including also the speaker, and then we'll come back to you and actually report. You can be able to see that we must be able to look at all the legal matters around what had happened by today, and then we'll definitely shall come back to you and actually tell you that after we listen to the tape recording and after our legal team have actually advised us whether we got the CAO or not have the CFO today, then we'll actually inform you.
The Speaker, however, allowed voting on items on the agenda. The DA wants clarity on why their vote of no confidence against the mayor was not part of the agenda. The Speaker refused to discuss the issue.
What happened in that council chamber is just a joke, and it's symptomatic of what's happening under this administration. Also, the fact that we are in this position of having to have this special council meeting to prevent money being lost to National Treasury because of underspending is also symptomatic of the chaos in that municipality.
Legal advice is now being sought on whether decisions taken after the walkout are valid. Ifwe Poti, SABC News, Port Elizabeth.
What, on the wake of what we've just seen there in the Eastern Cape, Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, to discuss and analyse the challenges and the dynamics of EFF-DA coalitions, if we can call it that. The EFF, of course, have never said they've been part of any coalition. In the light of the imminent divorce declared by the EFF leader, Julius Malema, well, leadership expert Dr. Mazwe Majola joins us now. Thanks so much for joining us. Welcome to the programme.
Good day. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. So the economic freedom fighters, I mean, they've been quite clear from day one. People have wanted to lump them into coalitions, but they've always said we're not part of a coalition. We're just here to vote on issues when we need to. So now they're saying they're not going to vote with the ANC or with the DA. So I'm just wondering where that leaves coalition politics and coalition governance in this country.
I think South Africa is not ready for coalition or for political coalition government. Political parties are so divided and are so different. When you look at the EFF and DA and other small parties coalition, from the start or from the beginning, it was built on a shaky and shabby ground, really. Remember, any relationship, whether it's a working relationship, it's a romantic relationship, business, any relationship, trust is the foundation of any relationship. So there was no trust there. If you remember, after 2016 local government, the real enemy there, all these parties were fighting for or with, was the ANC, and in particular Jacob Zuma. So all of them, they just wanted to neutralize the ANC. They wanted to punish Jacob Zuma, so they will do anything to do that. EFF and DA, they are so diverse, they are so different. They are different, if you look at them, it's the different of of their backgrounds as political parties and of their histories, is a huge difference in their leadership styles, huge difference in their values and culture and principles, huge difference in their policies, huge difference in their goals and objectives, huge difference in everything they stand for. So definitely it was not going to be workable, practical and sustainable, this coalition.
But for a number of years it's worked in the city of Johannesburg, it's worked in the city of Tshwane, and for 5 minutes it worked at Nelson Mandela Bay Metro. So when you say we're not ready, but we've proved that it can be done.
Well, no, I mean, we are not ready because of the political expediency and opportunistic of certain political parties. EFF, it was good for them then in 2016, as I'm saying, that at that time it served a certain purpose. Now they are going for, or rather 2021 is around the corner. So they want to go back and say to their to their constituency, look, this did not happen, we're not part of it. And again, they wanted a full coalition when they've been calling it voting by voting basis kind of relationship. Now they go back and say, give us one, and then we want to take over there. In other words, let's have some kind of give and take. And then the DA says we can't do that, you know. So you can see that there is just political opportunistic and expediency.
So if South Africa is not ready for coalition governance, then how do we solve this issue? Because clearly the parties don't have enough support, or do you think that they think that this will change by the time we get to the next local government elections, for example?
It's a clarion call to citizens of South Africa and to electorates. When you go to the elections, make sure that you elect a party and give that party an outright mandate. So don't give this, because it's going to be like this again. If there is no party receiving an outright mandate, an outright win, again they will try to form some kind of a relationship which will not work, and then it will affect adversely and very badly the service delivery, and it will give rise to corruption and maladministration.
Are we not getting a message from the voters, actually, that this is what they want? They're forcing people to work together as opposed to against each other.
But that's a danger with a forced relationship. That's a challenge with a forced marriage or union, because you are putting two people who are like water and oil. One is from the west and one is from the east, and you say work together. I'm forcing you to work together. They will try, but they will always crack because of these differences I'm talking about. You know, whenever there are differences of values and leadership styles and culture and goals and objectives and the reason of existence, it will always give rise to these differences and to these challenges, and then it will affect the service delivered.
Which we're seeing in the Eastern Cape now, and that one looks particularly problematic. What can they do to salvage the situation, Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, as we speak? I mean, it looks as if we might even be heading for elections again soon.
I think they must just call the new elections and then give the electorate to give a new mandate to a certain political party. If they want a DA, they choose the DA. Give them outright mandate. If they want ANC, if they want EFF, these beaten pieces forcing people to work together is not working, and it is harming the service delivery. At the end, when these political parties are bickering and fighting among themselves, who is suffering? The millions of people on the ground, because they will not get what they are supposed to be getting, because they will spend time trying to debate and trying to find one another instead of delivering to people.
So if the general elections were anything to go by, what we will see more and more of going forward are more new political parties, thereby again creating the almost inevitability of coalitions. So what are we saying? That people shouldn't form parties, that you should stick to the American model, maybe have one or two or three? What are we saying?
Well, indeed, as you are saying, it will be inevitable. You will find those parties forming coalitions and forming relationships. However, as I'm saying, that with this huge diversity and differences that we see from our political parties, we are still going to see this problem and challenges moving forward. Let the electorate choose the party they want them to lead, and then that will give that party a good chance to lead, and the others, let them become opposition parties so that they can hold accountable the governing party at the given time.
All right, Dr. Majola, we're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately, but interesting times ahead. Yeah. Let's see how our politicians navigate their way through this one. Thanks so much indeed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, moving north of our borders, Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa says that he will engage with President Cyril Ramaphosa on Harare's